Let's bring up this video that we have accessed exclusively from highly placed sources. What does this video tell us? This is brazen and open provocation from Pakistan. What you're seeing on your television screens are actually two of the most hardened terrorists, two most wanted terrorists from India's perspective, Hafiz Saeed of the Lashkar-e-Taiba and Sayeed Salahuddin of the Hizbul Mujahideen, actually sharing a stage in what sources believe to be Pakistan-Occupied Kashmir, possibly Muzaffarabad. Now, in this video that we have accessed, what you're actually seeing is an open support for terrorism and open support for militancy. Hafiz Saeed, as you know, is wanted in India for 2611. Sayeed Salahuddin is Kashmiri. He actually crossed over from India into Pakistan, was trained in terror camps there and has never come back since. Now, the fact is, this points to the keen coordination between the Hizbul Mujahideen, which is, of course, the indigenous terror group of the Kashmir Valley, and the Lashkar-e-Taiba, which is, of course, the Pakistan homespun, Pakistan Punjabi-grown terror group. And what are these two terrorists doing together? They're actually commemorating Burhan Wani, the 20-something local Kashmiri militant who was eliminated in an operation that has set the valley on edge for the last 3 days or so. Now, we are deliberately not actually playing out the speech of Hafiz Saeed for you because we do not want to give Hafiz Saeed an open platform to spew hatred against India. But we have heard the speech, and the speech openly warns that Burhan Wani, in their language, is a shaheed, a martyr, and they are warning that there will be many, many more Burhan Wanis. This video that we are bringing on your screen has come actually just as the Prime Minister of Pakistan echoed his Foreign Office in making an extremely contentious statement, saying that Prime Minister of Pakistan has expressed his deep shock at the killing of Kashmiri leader. So Nawaz Sharif calls Burhan Wani a Kashmiri leader. Hafiz Saeed and Sayeed Salahuddin call him a martyr. It's almost as if the Pakistan government and these terrorists are speaking exactly the same language. Quick first reactions are coming in. General Jaswal, who's been Northern Army commander in the state, is on the phone line. General Jaswal, on the screen at the moment, we are playing a video of Hafiz Saeed and Sayeed Salahuddin together. What I find striking is that this also speaks to the keen coordination between the Hizbul Mujahideen, the indigenous terror group of the valley, and the Lashkar-e-Taiba. They're both sharing a stage to commemorate in their language Burhan Wani. Your comments, sir?
You see, it's high time that Pakistan should de-link itself with terrorist support. There are certain compulsions which Pakistan has as of now. On its western side, it is engaged with the TTP. On the eastern side, they want to keep these terrorist groups alive so that both these groups on the west and on the east, they don't come together to bring in radicalization in the heart of Pakistan. So it is an unfinished agenda with them to prosecute terror activities in India. And what is seen on the screen today, it itself is an evidence that this agenda is supported by the Pakistan government and the ISI. It is now clear to the whole world that Pakistan cannot deny time and again that we are not supporting terrorist activities in India from their ground.
Yes.
It's high time that the world community must isolate them diplomatically, economically, in every way. Though I would also like to tell you one thing, that for India, it is very, very important to have a stable Pakistan. Despite our effort to iron out things, Pakistan is not responding. By doing so, it is digging its own grave. And situation over there, they've been suffering themselves. They will time and again continue to suffer on account of their explicit support.
General Jaswal,
yes.
General Jaswal, I want you to talk a little bit from your ground experience in the state, because what I say is also striking to me is, the Hizbul Mujahideen, of which Burhan Wani was a member, is often described as the homespun militant group of the valley, mostly made up of local militants. And the Lashkar is, of course, Pakistani. The fact that we see the Lashkar chief, Hafiz Saeed, and the Hizb chief, Sayeed Salahuddin, sharing a podium, to me also speaks to a synergy between these two groups on the ground.
Absolutely. You see, today in the Kashmir Valley, there has to be a rallying point, and the rallying point, the LET, they're ensuring that the splinter groups smaller groups and the larger groups. They all work on one platform because they are presently absolutely leaderless. Interestingly, though Burhan Wani is being spoken of being the new face of terror, etc., this man has not fired a single shot in anger. He has actually not taken part in any active operation. He's used the youth as cannon fodder, which has been motivating. Actually, he was in one of the encounters, he was actually not there, as a matter of fact, when Colonel Rai got shot up, got martyred. The person who shot him, he was eliminated there itself. Thereafter, Burhan, he took over the reins and overnight he became a hero.
Yes.
This man was using the youth by psychologically, indoctrinating them, using them as cannon fodder, and he was never in the front himself. Just because he was, I would say social media savvy,
yes.
So he drew larger than life size. Otherwise, he was not of much consequence. And if you recall, in one of the interviews after the CRPF convoy ambush, I had said,
yes,
his days are numbered.
Yes. General Jaswal, stay on the line with us. We're also getting first comments from Pakistan now. General Talat Masood from Pakistan is on the line. General Masood, we have seen now an open backing in this video that we're telecasting. Hafiz Saeed, the Lashkar chief, the terrorist wanted in India for the Mumbai strikes, sharing a stage with Sayeed Salahuddin, the Hizbul Mujahideen head, who of course went from India into Pakistan and was trained in terror camps there. This sort of open, brazen provocation where a slain militant is being celebrated and commemorated by two hardened terrorists as a martyr. This has to spell death for the India-Pakistan equation right now, General Masood. How do liberals like yourself see Hafiz Saeed sitting there commemorating a man who picked up the gun here, was a wanted militant and was shot in our security operations?
Well, I couldn't care less what Hafiz Saeed is saying, but what I would feel, and I think many people in Pakistan, and even those who really want good relations with India, would not like to see India the way it is conducting itself in Kashmir. Even if you have differences as far as this guy was concerned, to shoot him, to kill him, and murder him, and then obviously what do you expect? The it already feels very empty in Kashmir. They are so disenchanted with the way that the government has been conducting itself for years.
But General Masood,
there are no opportunities for them. They are so empty. So I think that this is exactly what is happening.
But General Masood, may I just
understand?
May I just?
Well, I mean, you can keep on defending, and I'll keep on defending on my side.
No, it's not about defending or accusing. It's not about defending or accusing. Within India, we all have our views on how the situation in Kashmir should be handled, should not be handled. There can be more than one view. But the point is that it's not that Indians are going to let Pakistan tell us how we should handle Kashmir. It would be akin to us telling you how you should handle Balochistan, and we would not do that.
Well, I mean, we are not saying how you should handle. What we are seeing, we are only reflecting on that. What we are seeing, and we feel very pained by the situation in Kashmir, the way these people are being suppressed. Obviously, there are strong links. I mean, you can't say this is not a legacy of partition. You can't say that Kashmir is not a problem between India and Pakistan. How can you close your eyes to all that?
I am talking, sir, about those who pick up the gun. I am talking about a Hafiz Saeed and a Sayeed Salahuddin. I am talking about the use of the gun, the use of terror, the death of innocents. India and Pakistan can certainly discuss Kashmir at the dialogue tables.
I understand what you are saying. My view on that is you are giving unnecessary importance to Hafiz Saeed by the way that you are conducting the affairs of Kashmir in India. By using force, by
Sir, Hafiz Saeed was responsible for Bombay. Sir, Hafiz Saeed was responsible for Bombay, sir. Sir, Hafiz Saeed was responsible for Bombay.
We want to have sanity in Pakistan-India relations. We want to go about it in a way which civilized countries should do.
2611.
you keep on suppressing people, then Hafiz and others.
General Masood, Hafiz Saeed, you may locate him in the Kashmir context, but the fact is the Lashkar launched an attack on India's financial capital. He's still out there. This had nothing to do, the Bombay attacks, the Mumbai attacks had nothing to do with Kashmir. So Lashkar-e-Taiba is a terror outfit, and this man cannot be the flag bearer of civil liberties, on the Kashmir issue. That's the point I'm making, that when we see a Hafiz Saeed, even those of us who have our own opinions on how a certain situation should have been handled, every Indian then starts feeling extremely angry when we look at a Hafiz Saeed giving us a lecture on civil liberties. I mean, should Hafiz Saeed be lecturing anybody on civil liberties?
You would probably get upset, but there are a lot of other people also say exactly that, the situation in Kashmir demands that it should be handled in a much more civilized manner. And I think the people of Kashmir, they are seeking self-determination. They are extremely feeling empty, and that is why you find thousands of youth. So I think you have to address the problem irrespective of
Let me bring in General Jaswal.
Says or not says.
Let me bring in General Jaswal.
My point is that as far as I'm concerned, I'm not influenced by what Hafiz Saeed says. What I'm trying to say is that if we really want to sort of improve relations, it is also important that you look at the problem and not get emotionally involved and sentimental about it and take positions which will take us nowhere.
Sir, let me bring in General Jaswal now. Okay, General Jaswal, sir, I just have to bring in another guest. Sir, I just have to bring in other comments. Sir, General Jaswal, you've heard the Pakistani guest, General Talat Masood. The fact of the matter is, he says, I'm not talking about Hafiz Saeed, but Pakistan's very disappointed with how Kashmir is being treated. To me, this India-Pakistan equation has gone back to square one. And the irony I would point out is that that Prime Minister Modi has invested so much of his goodwill in the relationship with Prime Minister Sharif in Pakistan. It could be argued that perhaps that goodwill needed to be first invested domestically in the Kashmir Valley, because look where we are today. You have the valley on edge, and you actually have a statement not just from Hafiz Saeed, but from the Pakistan Prime Minister's office himself, General Jaswal.
I would like to highlight two issues over here which are very relevant. One, I think General Masood, of course, I have great respect for him. He is not seized with the reality which is there in the valley. To support my statement, why is the crowd coming onto the streets only in certain areas, that is in towns only? Why not in the villages? Because the reality is totally different. Let me assure you, even during the stone throwing in 2010 when I was there,
yes,
people from the towns of Pulwama, from Srinagar, etc. I've known a lot of people who are very good Muslim friends of mine. They used to come and tell us, I don't know why these people are coming out, and there was a group of about 40 people who were getting direct instructions from Pakistan. So everyone is not really in support, but they are forced to come onto the streets. No wonder in the villages, they have not come to the streets. So there is a reality difference of what General Masood is understanding. The important issue is, like what he said, there is a requirement that both the countries should have good relations. Factor one, which is most important, stop supporting terrorists from your territory.
Yes.
Hafiz Saeed becomes important because he is the architect of choreographing terrorism in India.
Yes.
That is most important. They must address this issue. So that's what my comment is about General Masood's statement.
I'll get a quick comment from General Masood to that, and then we'll move on to other news. General Masood, you say Pakistan has a view on Kashmir. India says we have a view on terrorism. You say I don't care about Hafiz Saeed. You're giving him importance. We say this man killed our people in Mumbai and multiple other terror strikes. So, the fact of the matter is, you'll keep saying Kashmir, but we will keep saying terrorism. And what we are seeing in the video is support for terrorism. A quick comment to what you've heard General Jaswal say.
Well, I think you have to, you can really confuse it by saying that this is all terrorism and so on, and confuse it also and keep on emphasizing on Hafiz Saeed. It's not just Hafiz Saeed which is agitating there, and his voice is not so important and so significant that all of a sudden the whole of Kashmir, erupts because of him. I think we are trying to confuse either, by design or, just by chance that you are saying all this without really understanding that there is a problem in Kashmir. It needs to be addressed. And
Okay.
I think these people feel very, very disappointed. They are disenchanted. They feel they are not empowered. And I think
But India would argue, but sir, the point will keep coming back to the fact that that is between Delhi and the valley.
I just want to answer one
Yes.
question which was raised, and that was that why is it that it's not happening in villages? It only happens in the urban areas. Obviously, because in the villages you are able to suppress them much more easily. When it comes to cities, it becomes a little more difficult.
General
And then
Masood,
obviously
we could have the same.
in all the cities of the world.
I want General Jaswal to
there is
respond to
always
that.
mass movement.
General Jaswal, please come in there.
You know.
Let me just get General Jaswal to respond to that. General Jaswal, a quick last word and then we move on to other news. The fact is that you will not see Pakistan changing its position on Kashmir. So how do we move from here?
It's a very difficult question. I think our Prime Minister has gone out of his way to take not an extra step, but he's taken a couple of steps. So long Pakistan keeps supporting terrorism, let me tell you, there's going to be no headway. Terrorism and talks, definitely, which has been the agenda of all the governments, cannot go hand in hand. We are trying to extend everything. We are trying to stabilize Pakistan by offering various things. But if they want to continue with this, I think the whole of Pakistan will get radicalized. And now talking about dealing with terrorism, like what you had said,
Yes.
they don't have to tell us as to how to deal with our terrorists.
Yes.
Look at this. We have never used tanks. We've never used aircraft. We have never used artillery against the terrorists the way they're using in Balochistan.
Exactly.
The extrajudicial powers which have been given to the army in Balochistan, they can give death penalty on the spot. We don't do that. We are a far more civilized state that way. We are, I would say, far more responsible state. Far more responsible. They must realize the problem at hand.
Okay.
They created a problem, now they got stuck in it. There is still a problem, they don't want to control it. Well, it's going to definitely expand and cause them more problems.
All right, sir, we leave it there. The video brings home its own message, as does the statement from the Pakistan Foreign Office and the Pakistan Prime Minister. Leaving it there for now. It's over to Neha for the rest of the news.